believe in the right to keep and bear arms, but we lost that battle because we gave over to the federal courts the right to decide what our states can do within the boundaries of our sovereign states. Let me give you some more examples here. We know that the states all across America, I think somewhere now in excess of 25 or 26, have filed a joint lawsuit against the U.S. Congress because of the passage of the Obamacare Act. Now let me tell you folks, I can tell you back home in Georgia, there were politicians this past year running from one end of the state to the other, campaigning for every office in the land, that were saying, oh yes, I'm for states' rights, and the proof of my support for states' rights is that I think Georgia ought to join in with a lawsuit in those federal courts to stop Obama health care. Now let me tell you, Georgia should be included in that lawsuit against Obamacare. Tennessee ought to be a part of that lawsuit to stop it. But this lawsuit in the federal courts is not an example of states' rights. I'm saying some things that are maybe hard to see and hard to understand and hard to want to believe. But we better get this right, folks, because we may not get another chance. You see, when the states file a suit in a federal court, that means the federal court is going to decide if what the federal Congress passed is constitutional or not. That is not an example of states' rights. That is an example of the separation of powers that our founding fathers embedded into the Constitution of these United States, where those three branches of the federal government, the legislative, the executive, and the judicial branch, are supposed to put checks and balances on each other's power. So yes, the states should file the lawsuit, hoping that the judicial branch correctly rules in this case, but do not be surprised, as you've already heard said today. Do not be upset. Do not be disappointed that states' rights has lost if the federal judges ruled against the states in this case. Because it was not an example, it was not a use of states' rights to file the case. Like most of the speakers who have spoken here today, I am not very hopeful that the outcome of that federal lawsuit will be victory for the people and for our states.